Yes, baseball is a game of numbers, like the number 7, the train that gets you to Citi Field, but also the number of consecutive wins the Mets have put together. It's also a number like 33. That's the number the Mets ace wears. Trying to make every Harvey day a happy Harvey day. The Dark Knight is ready to go. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. Today's game is brought to you by Ford. And for the third time this year, Matt Harvey will take the mound for the Mets on a bright, sunny, but cool day at Citi Field. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Flushing. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you today as the Mets try to go for a 4-game sweep of the Miami Marlins. Mets have won 7 games in a row, and they'll have their ace, Matt Harvey, on the mound today. 2 starts into the season. He made a brilliant return in Washington, gave up a couple of home runs his last time against the Phillies. What's your assessment of what you've seen so far?
Well, I like what I've seen so far big time. I think that he's been totally under control. He lost a little bit in that second start. The second start of any season is always tough. He's going to try to get into some kind of routine now. I think that's the key for him. But today, you know, he's going to have a guy he's going to face for a long time in Giancarlo Stanton. I'm thinking about Seaver and Stargell. I'm thinking about Gooden with Jack Clark and maybe Andre Dawson, guys like that. Well, he's going to be going after Stanton today.
Well, the Mets have had some success and some failure against Stanton in this series. He got off to a great start in the series.
Well, what I find interesting is that he's hit a lot of balls that have been up and out over the zone, but they're against G and Cologne, traditionally not real hard throwers. I think when he faces the guys that throw a little harder, down or up in the strike zone, I think he can be pitched to. Now think about it. This is a guy that traditionally gets off to a slow start. Once he gets hot, he can hit just about anything. But if you're going to go after him, you want to go after him inside like DeGrom did last night. It'll be interesting to see if Matt Harvey uses that inside, especially breaking pitch at Stanton, and that inside fastball to his advantage, considering what happened to Stanton last year.
Well, the Mets have struck out Stanton 5 of his last 6 at-bats. Harvey will try and keep that going today. Meanwhile, the Mets go up against the New Rochelle product, Tom Kohler, who's pitched very well every time he's come to Citi Field.
You know, he's never beaten the Mets. He's 0-2, but his ERA is under 3. We're always impressed. Part of the problem, in 9 starts against the Mets, his team has scored him 18 runs, so he's never really had a chance. But the kid from New Rochelle, like you said, local product, likes to pitch well against the Mets and always has.
You'll have plenty of family and friends on hand here today, as will Matt Harvey, who makes his way in, getting ready for his second Citi Field start of the season. It's the Mets going for 8 in a row. All the action on SNY. Deals on Ford cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. Visit tristateford.com. By ESPN Radio, ESPN New York 98.7 FM is giving away $30,000 in 30 days. Tune in for your chance to win. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. And by your Tri-State BMW centers. Who are the 4 players who best represent the history of the Mets, and who are the 4 greatest Major League Baseball players? Go to MLB.com/franchise4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game July 14th. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Get to Citi Field Saturday, May 2nd, when the Mets take on the Nationals at 7:10. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Jacob deGrom Garden Gnome. No, we're not kidding. Courtesy of Gold's Horseradish. We showed off that gnome last night. It was cool. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Super Saturdays. Mets learning how to count. They've gotten all the way up to 7. Could 8 be next? It's in the hands of Matt Harvey. First pitch coming up. Couple of lumps and delivered one himself in his last start and got himself his second win of the year, and now trying to join Bartolo Colon as Met pitchers winning their first 3 starts of the season as Matt Harvey goes to the hill today against the Miami Marlins. Another big crowd at Citi Field as the Mets go for the 4-game sweep. Hyundai starting lineup for the Marlins. And it's pretty much the same unit that Mike Redmond has run out there throughout the series. Dee Gordon coming off a 5-hit game last night. Giancarlo Stanton, 2 home runs in this series. JT Realmuto starts for the third time in the 4 games in this series as Matt Harvey tries to beat the Marlins for the first time ever.
Well, the Jeep numbers on Matt Harvey. You know what he's done in the first 2 starts. Unbelievably, 38 starts, 20 of them he's given up 1 earned run or less. But against the Marlins, he started against them 4 times. The Mets have lost every single one of those Harvey starts. There's D. Gordon, a hero last night. 5 knocks.
5 hits, but never scored.
Yeah, well.
Give you an idea just how good Jacob deGrom was last night. deGrom 7 scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Gave up just 6 singles.
Well, look at the Lexus defense for the Mets. Last year, Kirk Neuenhuis, when they started 22 times, Mets were 18-4. Lagares and Granderson in the outfield. On the corners, Campbell and Duda. Double play combo of Tejada and Murphy. And d'Arnaud's had a nice series, not only at the plate, but he's thrown D. Gordon out twice trying to steal.
Gordon became the first player ever to go 5 for 5 at Citi Field last night. Matt Harvey's first pitch fastball in for a strike, and we're underway. Harvey 4 career starts against the Marlins, 0-1, 3.52. And the breaking ball hit out to right field. And right there waiting for it is Granderson for the first down. I think more telling about Harvey is that he's made 28 starts since the start of the 2013 season. In 25 of the 28, he's gone at least 6 innings. The 3 where he didn't, all against the Marlins. So for whatever reason, he's run into trouble against this ball club. Here's Christian Yelich. Yelich 2 for 13 in this series, including making the final out last night against Alex Torres, who earned his first major league save. And Harvey dents the outside corner, 0-1.
Harvey looks a lot like a young Justin Verlander. He'll throw 94, 95 early in the game and pump it up when he has to.
Keeps that ball away from Yelich and gets ahead 0-2.
Yelich is a guy that the Mets have always handled in his young career. 7 for 50 against Mets pitching.
0-2. Up and away. Well, he had a terrific year last year, Yelich did. Hit 284, 362 on base percentage. It's been a little more of a struggle the first 2 weeks of this year. Carlos Stanton next. And that just missed. Change up from Harvey, 2-2.
That's a young Sean Barber behind the plate. We've seen throughout this series the low pitch has been called a strike. Caught plenty of the plate, and I thought it was a good pitch.
Got him going away. 97 from Harvey for his first strikeout of the day.
Well, great combination sequence of pitches. The ability to throw that changeup down and fastball up and away. That combination is lethal to any hitter.
So now he'll face Stanton with 2 out and nobody on. Stanton 3 for 11 in the series with 2 home runs, and he takes a strike. Last night Stanton went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. He struck out 5 of his last 6 at bats. And a good slider by Harvey. 0-2.
Well, after deGrom last night had a lot of success with the slider, I bet you Harvey uses it against Stanton today.
As long as you keep it off the plate. Struck him out. Got him roaring early at Citi Field. Harvey with a couple of strikeouts and a 1-2-3 first. Oppenheim makes his first start of the year. Michael Kadire gets his first day off. Ruben Tejada starts at shortstop, spelling Wilmer Flores, who's hit 2 home runs in this series. As the Mets go up against New Rochelle native and Stony Brook grad Tom Kohler.
There's his Toyota numbers for Tommy Kohler. 10-10, 10-10 last season. His 9 starts though against the Mets. The Mets batting average is 193.
And his ERA 2.67. Curtis Granderson leads off and takes a strike. The Mets have got some ugly numbers in their lineup against Kohler. Granderson 0 for 9. Duda 2 for 19. So he has handled the Mets and especially the left-hand hitters very well.
He's got all 4 pitches, changeup, slider, curveball, and a good firm fastball.
And he's been throwing more 2-seam fastballs this year, trying to diversify his repertoire. Granderson gets under one to right field. Stanton looking through the sunshine. No glasses needed. Granderson retired, 1 out.
Well, here's the Coors Light Marlins defense. That young, talented outfield. 24, 25, and 26 going across. Sorry, 23, 24, 25. Prado, Echeverria, Gordon, and Morse in the infield. And Real Muto, who they really like on this Marlins team, getting the start behind the plate.
Travis d'Arnaud hit his 2nd home run of the season last night. And like the first one, it was a line drive to left. It's this one behind the bag. A long throw for Prado. And right on target for the 2nd out.
Well, nice play by the veteran Prado. He gets there, gets rid of it quick with the backhand, makes the accurate throw. Makes it look simple.
So Lucas Duda will bat with 2 out and nobody on. Duda having himself a tremendous series. 370 on the year right now. That's 5th in the National League. Already has 7 doubles in his first 46 at bats. When you consider that last year Duda didn't pick up his first double until his 44th at bat, didn't have 7 doubles until May 31st. So he is off to a rollicking start.
Heard you guys talking about this shift. I do not like the switching of Prado and Echeverria. I'll tell you why. Echeverria's got all the speed. He can make that play if Duda decides to bunt. And secondly, and people forget about this, the pop-up on that side, you've got to have a lot of speed to try to catch up to it. Echeverria much better than Prado in doing that job.
They've been switching those 2 after the first strike to Duda. You can see the doubles leaders in the National League. Adrian Gonzalez, by the way, is hitting .523. He's off to a pretty good start. Breaking ball hit right into the shift. Lee Gordon makes the play, and Tom Kohler's got himself a 1-2-3 opening inning to match Harvey. Matt goes back to the mound for the 2nd when we come back. in signage.
It's almost like an early banner day here. Very nice.
A little Harvey Lagares combination there. We got the Dark Knight. Martin Prado leads off the second and promptly secures the first hit of the day. 5th hit in the series for Prado, and the Marlins get the leadoff man on against Harvey in the second.
Forget sometimes just how intelligent a hitter Prado is. He's not going to let Harvey get away with that first pitch fastball. The more you face tough pitchers, you've got to make sure you're ready. That first pitch might be the best one you get. Good swing.
And throughout the series, really attacking that high ball. So here's Morris, 2 for 11 in the series, including a home run in the game last night. That's looked like they were cruising with a 5-0 lead going to the 8th yesterday. But the Marlins gave the Mets everything they could handle late. And Mike Redmond was left hoping that that would have some carryover into today. His team is 3-9 and sitting in last place in the National League East. They're trying to get their season revved up. Harvey behind on Morse, 2-0. Mets trying to sweep 4 games from the Marlins last year. Out of a 164 game series, there were only 14 sweeps, which actually is more than you think, because statistically you should only sweep a 4-game series once in every 16 tries. That's the probability anyway.
Well, you have to, and add the standard deviation. So
what exactly is that?
That's a plus or minus.
Marcell Ozuna on deck. Well, since 1998, the Mets have only had 2 4-game series sweeps at home. They swept 4 from the Rockies in 2003 at Shea, and they swept 4 from the Pirates here in 2010. And that's it in the last 17 years. So that's how rare it is.
What's great about it, though, is when you have good starting pitching, you can go into a series like this where Colon and G get you a couple of wins, and now you have DeGrom and Harvey. DeGrom did his job. Let's see if Harvey does his today.
Morris hits one slowly. Campbell will have to go to first with it. High throw, but Duda comes down with the tag, and they get Morris for the first out as Prado moves up to second.
Well, we're so used to number 5 coming in with the bare hand. Campbell a little more traditional. He uses the glove, the transfer, and the high throw. It's hard to throw it too high to the big Duda at first base. But that's 2 big men coming together here with Duda and Morse. Good play.
So 1 out, a runner in scoring position for Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna 2 for 7 in the series. And a base hit against Carlos Torres in the 9th inning last night. And Harvey gets ahead with a fastball. Matt is making his 20th Citi Field start. His lifetime ERA at home, not quite as good as Jacob deGrom's, which is now 1.4, but Harvey at 2.01 at Citi Field. So he has been dominant in this building as well. Hit sharply, and that's into left field, a base hit. They'll hold Prado at third as Neuenhuis's throw offline, but cut off nicely by Campbell. So a couple of hard hits against Harvey, and the Marlins have runners at first and third.
A change up there, trying to go down and in. You're talking to Ozuna, a guy that really hasn't been able to touch the fastball away or up. He counters with a changeup, and Ozuna was waiting for it. Nothing really Prado could do. He gets the good read. He knows he's not going to score in that. Neuenhuis did a great job of charging that baseball. Throw wasn't great, but charged it quick enough that to stop Prado.
So first and third and 1 out for the rookie catcher JT Realmuto, starting for the 3rd time in this 4-game series. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Realmuto 1 for 8 in the series, but he has been impressive.
One of the bats of the series, to tell you the truth, was the Granderson catch against the wall. That would have been a bases clearing double or triple.
Realmuto tries to hold on the slider and stopped it in time.
We'll see Ozuna trying to come inside. See, now this is a changeup to me. I don't think that was the fastball inside, and that's why Ozuna got to it. But Harvey's trying to throw that changeup down and in to the right-handed hitter.
And the curveball drops in for a strike. 1-2. Prado at third, Ozuna at first with one out. Harvey's already struck out 2. Could be 2. Campbell to Murphy. And on to first. Not in time. Very close play. But a run comes home. And the Marlins take a 1-0 lead. And the Mets will look at a replay and see whether there's any reason to challenge the call.
I thought Realmuto was in the air when they crossed that bag, so I think you got to challenge it. Murphy, yeah, I think he's in the air.
Terry Collins is coming out to kill some time with the first base umpire Eric Cooper, and he says we're going to challenge. And it looks like he might have a case. So they might take that run off the board.
It's real close. I mean, you've had so many of the challenges so far in this series. But boy, that bag just didn't compress before the ball seemed to be in the mid of Duda.
Might be a tough one to overturn based on the evidence. It's real close, though. But the Mets are going to take a shot at it because it's a run-scoring play. And if they are able to get the call overturned, it would take a run off the board.
You know, it's interesting. Now we have all the players congregated around second base, watching the play on the big screen.
Play under review brought to you by Mazda.
Just watch the bag. See if it compresses before the ball's in the glove of Duda. Okay, maybe the spike catches it there. Already in the glove.
And they have confirmed the safe call. Okay. So the Mets, who lost on 3 challenges last night, they lost on their own and on 2 by the Marlins, lose another one. And the run comes in, and the Marlins lead at 1-0. So it goes to the 5-4 fielder's choice. Prado comes in to score the first run of the game, and the Mets have used their challenge for the day. Realmuto picks up his first RBI. And now he's at first with 2 out for Echeverria.
You know, good hustle by Realmuto to get down there. You know, catcher running, hustling all the way. He's got good speed.
Echeverria 3 for 11 in the series. And he takes a strike. By the way, kudos to the replay officials. That took just 49 seconds.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. It was, you could easily see a tie going to the runner and not overturning that.
Slowly hit for Tejada. And he'll go to first with it to get Echeverria and end the inning. But a couple of hits and a fielder's choice produce a run. And the Marlins lead Harvey and the Mets 1-0. in the second for the Mets. Two of them not able to turn a double play in the top of the inning, and it cost the Mets the first run of the game.
Well, a couple things happen. One, Campbell gets rid of it pretty quick, but see how that throw is kind of up the line towards first base? That way Murphy can't catch the ball with two hands. He has to catch it with one and then transfer. And then by the time he transfers, Real Muto with enough speed, tie goes to the runner. I have to say, good call by Eric Cooper. Great job by the people on Park Avenue. Quick both ways. Cooper, you realize, we see it in slow action. He's seen a real action, how tough it is to umpire.
Eric Campbell making his 5th consecutive start with David Wright on the disabled list, and he has really been a nice spark. 3 for 8 in this series with 3 runs driven in. Campbell, Murphy, and Lagares against Tom Kohler, who retired the side in order on 8 pitches in the first inning. And the curveball in for a strike. Nothing and 2.
Tom Kohler has how many people here today, Gary?
Said he had about 50 tickets.
That's great.
Family and friends. Seems to be the case every time he pitches against the Mets here.
In our day, if one of the players was going to where his hometown was.
Campbell hits it well out to the opposite field. Stanton back, though. Grabs it on the warning track for the first down.
Well, it's really one of the strengths of Campbell is that he is an outstanding 2-strike hitter. If you're going to live on the outside corner, he's going to hit the ball that way. He comes up short here and nothing to show for it, but a good at-bat.
Stanton very underrated for his outfield skills. Not Jason Hayward, but he's still the next echelon of right fielders in the National League.
And he's gotten better every year.
Here's Murphy, who continues to struggle at the plate. 2 for 12 in this series. 6 for 41 to start the year. Very un-Murph-like numbers. So you were talking about tickets?
Yeah, I was just saying that in my day, if we were going, to a place where a person was from, Detroit, Chicago, whatever, all the players would get together and give the tickets to the person that was from there. I wonder if that still happens now. I know it's a whole computerized system that the players use nowadays.
Kohler with plenty of time to recover, throws out Murphy, and Kohler's retired the first 5. Well, that's the inside of the scoreboard control room. That's the back of Vito Vitiello's head. He's the maestro.
Vito and the gang. Very nice.
Thumbs up and everything.
Don't get too cocky in there, Vito. We'll come down on you if we have to.
He's very excitable,
We love him. He's the best.
Here's Juan Lagares with 2 out and nobody on. Lagares has really perked up on this homestand. He's hit in all 6 games, going 8 for 22. Tom Kohler, now 28 years old. He really had to fight his way through. 18th round pick for the Marlins. And never was considered a big prospect. And even now, he's considered the 5th starter on this Marlins staff. But you look at their rotation right now with Fernandez out and Alvarez out and Latos struggling. His starts have taken on much greater importance, and his consistency is much more valued than maybe it was at the start of the season. Morris into foul territory. Has the pop up from Lagares, and Kohler's retired the first 6. 1-0 Marlins after 2. Harvey Day. Today's game changer brought to you by T-Mobile. Those are Matt Harvey's first 2 starts of the year. 6 scoreless in Washington, and a bit of a bobble against the Phillies. Gave up home runs to Utley and Ashe, but still got the win.
The number you like to see for all the Mets starters through this second week now is their lack of base on balls. It's very nice to see.
Well, the Mets pitching staff has given up 21 walks in 107 innings. That's the fewest walks of any pitching staff in the National League. Tom Kohler, not much of a hitter, 6 for 94 in his career. He takes a strike, 1-2. And he lines a base hit. How about that? Home cooking working out for Tom Kohler. He's retired 6 in a row on the mound, and he has his 7th career hit, his first this season. Second straight inning, the Marlins have had a leadoff hit against Harvey.
If you've noticed the hits against Harvey, Prado, and this one here, the ball have been up in the strike zone. Pretty flat, pretty true, pretty straight.
So now D. Gordon, who flied out to right his first time up. We mentioned that Gordon became the first player ever to go 5 for 5 at Citi Field last night. There have been 3 other players have 5 hits in a game here, but none of them did it in only 5 at bats. Brett Gardner in 09, Ian Desmond in 11, Juan Pierre in 2012, all went 5 for 6. No, there are no Mets in that list. The Mets have not yet had a 5-hit game at Citi Field. Now in their 7th season playing here. Gordon lifts one toward that short area and foul ground, and it goes out of play. There are your National League hit leaders. Gordon right behind Adrian Gonzalez.
LeMahieu is the surprise on that list, right?
Gold Glover all of a sudden adding some offense for the Rockies. We're off to a good start, 7-4 on the year. 0-2 to Gordon. Got him with a curveball. Harvey strikes out Gordon, his 3rd strikeout of the day.
Well, for Harvey,
a
little change up there from after 2 fastballs in. A beautiful change up away and down.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Christian Yelich, who struck out his first time up, due to playing behind the pitcher Kohler running at first base. And Harvey goes upstairs to get ahead on Yelich.
What made Yelich so special last year is his plate strike zone discipline, and he's not been able to do that in this series. Nothing more frustrating for a hitter, a good hitter, and Yelich is that you're thinking fastball, you get fastball, and you come up empty.
He's already struck out Yelich once today. Yelich last night had his first career golden sombrero. He did work in a hit along the way, 1 for 5, but he struck out his other 4 at bats, including the one to end the game. Stanton on deck. 1-2. Little tapper past the mound. Harvey lets it go. Tejada gets the force, and that's all. I wonder what would have happened had Harvey made an attempt on that ball, whether they would have had a chance for 2.
Well, in the first at bat against Stanton, Harvey with the fastball down and true over the middle, then a slider away, his best one all game, and then the weak swing by Stanton on that same pitch up and in that Jacob deGrom got him at the bottom of the 6th last night.
Stanton has now struck out 6 of his last 7 at bats. Yelich stole 21 bases last year, but it's hard to imagine them letting him run with Stanton at the plate. And Harvey goes to the slider for ball 1.
It's interesting. With Harvey's changeup to me has gotten better. His fastball command has gotten great. His curveball's better than last year. He's lost his slider a little. That's the pitch that has not come yet for him, and that's his weapon against the right-handed hitters.
It's not that abnormal, is it, though, for a pitcher who starts to emphasize his curveball, maybe to lose his slider a little bit?
In the case of a game, 4 pitches, you usually have 3 of them working if you're having a good game, but it's not always the same 3 out of the 4. It changes. It's always been the slider so far in these first 3 starts.
1-1 to Stanton. And that's in for a strike.
That's the first time that I've seen Stanton kind of flinch on a breaking ball. He did not like that ball that started at him and came over the plate.
Well, Stanton got hit in the face last September, which is why he's wearing that mask. Harvey has struck out 3 today. Yelich runs. Stanton strikes out again. So Harvey's had Stanton's numbers so far this afternoon, and that enables him to work around the leadoff hit. 4th strikeout of the day for Harvey. 2nd time he's gotten Giancarlo. 1-0 Marlins in the middle of the 3rd. And I think he's searching for his batting helmet. Kirk Neuenhuis leads off, getting his first start of the season and looking for his first hit of the season. Kirk has gone 0 for 8. Michael Kadire getting his first day off. Kadire's been hot with the bat. 2 more hits last night. But as Terry Collins put it before the game today, you have to preserve your assets now to have them later.
Yes.
And this way, Kadire, with a day off tomorrow, gets 2 straight days off and can start fresh again Tuesday night. Kohler behind 2-0, and Neuenhuis gets under one into shallow center, and Ozuna looking through those sunglasses, and the sideways glance works for him. 1 away. Let's go back to that strikeout of Stanton a moment ago.
Well, the thing about Harvey is that what you do with your glove hand, folks, is you point it to the plate. That's like your aim, and then to clear your hips and your front side and your shoulder, you have to tuck that glove either under your armpit or under your chest, and that lets you clear. It's almost like you're yanking down with your glove to get your arm through to the plate. And Harvey does it as well as anyone.
1 out in the home 3rd. Now Ruben Tejada getting his 3rd start of the season. Wilmer Flores hit his 2nd home run of the season last night, but trying to get Tejada a game here and there. And he hits one sharply, but right at his counterpart Echeverria. And quickly there are 2 out. So Kohler, with the minimum of effort, has retired the first 8. And that has found his batting helmet.
I will say from experience or being there before, the opposing pitcher gets a hit off you, you're a little hot. So you want to return the favor.
been a while for Matt. You know, it looked at when he first started his career as though he was going to be a pretty good hitting pitcher. But going back to 2013, he's now 0 for his last 28. 0 for 5 this season. Well, he had Dark Knight written on the knob the last start. This time he's got the pitching Batman logo.
When you match, you got your own illustrator.
Popped up. Another chance for Ozuna, side saddling with the sun, and it works for him again. And Tom Kohler's perfect through the first 3 innings. Harvey goes back to the mound, trailing 1-0 going to the 4th. State dealers on the web at mbusa.com. During today's game, you can get interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. It's a beautiful sunny day, a little cool by the standards of yesterday. Temperature in the upper 50s.
Packed here at the ballpark again, which I love to see. Nothing better than being an athlete and playing in front of a packed house.
Martin Prado has scored the only run of this game after singling in the second. And it takes a fastball strike from Harvey, 1-1. Prado, Morse, and Ozuna here in the 4th. Harvey's allowed his 1 run.
That's right.
Darno and Duda, and Darno with a nice running catch. Well, I thought Duda was going to take charge, but he let Darno do the hustling. And Darno with a nice play. That's a long way for a catcher to go.
You know, we tend to forget how athletic Travis is, and the ability to run that far and really maze it, and he's calling it all the way. He wants it. He's near the dugout. All those factors, and he makes a tough play look easy.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Michael Morris grounded slowly to third base his first time up. And he pops this one into right field. Not very deep for Granderson. And quickly Harvey's got 2 outs. You mentioned the stat earlier, Ronnie, and I think it bears repeating. That Matt Harvey has made 38 career starts before today. In 20 of those 38, he's allowed either no runs or 1 run. In the last 100 years, there's only one other pitcher who had that kind of start to his career, and that was Dwight Gooden. In 100 years, just the two of them.
Listen, I used to do this for a living. When I see those stats like that, it makes me shake my head. What was the line that Jack Nicklaus said about Tiger Woods? He said he plays a game I'm not familiar with. I mean, those kind of stats I'm not familiar with, and I did this job for a living.
It's a well-located fastball, and it's 1-1.
I mean, at some point, someone's going to hit a bomb off you with a couple on. Happens.
Just less than half the time, apparently.
Yeah.
Ozuna lays off. It's a strike.
He got an out on the slider to Morris. Now another slider for a strike. That pitch maybe is coming around.
91-mile-an-hour slider that time. 1-2 coming. Curveball got him. Now Matt Harvey is trying to lock himself into a groove. That's 5 strikeouts for Matt. He's now retired 6 in a row. Now the Mets try and get some base runners against Tom Kohler. They've yet to secure one. Harvey dealing, but trailing 1-0 in the fourth. Second time around the batting order for Tom Kohler, who got the side in order the first 3 innings. Curtis Granderson leads off the home fourth and takes the curveball for a strike, and it's 1-1. Granderson flied out to right his first time up. Granderson, d'Arnaud, and Duda hoping to get a better look at Kohler, who threw just 27 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. Well, it's the first bark in the park day at Citi Field this year.
What a beauty.
That's a gorgeous puppy.
Wow.
Line center field. Ozuna will have to play this one on the hop, and the Mets have their first base runner of the day. Granderson, who had been 0 for 12 in this series, gets his first hit against the Marlins.
His first time up, he just missed hitting one out of here. Popped it up. Not popped it up, but hit the right field. Here it gets jammed just enough to have the ball drop in front of Ozuna.
Just his 6th hit in 40 at-bats to start the season. So the Mets get the leadoff man on, and Kohler will have to work from the stretch for the first time today. Travis d'Arnaud grounded out behind the bag at third his first time up.
Well, this was the same in April last season, wasn't he? A 140 hitter or so?
The only difference was last April he wasn't walking. This year he leads the league in walks the first 2 weeks of the year. Kohler dots the fastball for a strike.
145 was the number for Curtis in April last year.
Hit toward the hole, and d'Arnaud's got a base hit. So back-to-back base hits to start the home fourth. And Lucas Duda will come up with a couple of men on.
It's interesting. Since d'Arnaud came back from Las Vegas, he might be one of the best breaking ball hitters on the Mets team. He has that ability to hit that curveball and keep his hands back and hit it sharply. And that's all you're trying to do. Hit it sharply, found a hole.
Now the Marlins try to figure out how to play their infield against Duda with runners at first and second.
Prado's got to stay closer to the bag with a threat of a steal of Granderson.
And that's Correa right behind Granderson. Duda grounded out to second base into the shift his first time. And he takes the fastball away from Kohler, dialing it up to 94. Granderson at second, d'Arnaud at first, and nobody out. Mets down a run in the fourth. Mets played from in front yesterday after 4 straight come from behind victories. Trying to come from behind again.
Well, it went right after Duda, and Lucas just missed that fastball. Inner half. And just beat him.
Duda trying to figure out a guy he's had trouble with. He's just 2 for 20 against Tom Kohler. One and two.
See the catcher Real Muto signal to Kohler. He wanted that pitch up in the strike zone. Fastballs, he try to concentrate on belt or higher for Lucas. Although now you'd probably have to say at least one breaking ball down and in out of the strike zone. It's where they used to try to get Lucas, especially Kohler. Again with the fastball.
Ronnie, he's barely stopping at the belt. He's awfully close to a balk, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm surprised that if I were the pitching coach, I'd run out there real quick and say, hey, listen, son, you need to stop just a little tiny bit longer because someone's going to call it.
If this were 1987 or Bob Davidson was here, he'd already have three. Misses with a breaking ball. Now it's 3-2.
Well, your guts as a pitcher tell you that you want to challenge Duda here with a 1-0 lead. But your brain tells you maybe the breaking ball 3-2 is the pitch to go with.
2 on, nobody out. Campbell on deck. 3-2 to Duda. And Lucas lifts one foul. Prado over for a look, but that's in the crowd.
Kohler went with the guts. One right after Duda. I didn't factor in he was a New York kid.
New Rochelle High School, Stony Brook University. Where he met a terrific softball player named Ashley Westfall. And they got together. Curveball high, ball 4. Bases loaded. So Kohler got ahead in the count, then lost Duda. And now a prime scoring opportunity for the Mets. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Campbell coming up.
Well, it seems like every time the Mets have a scoring opportunity, Eric Campbell has gotten up in this series.
Chuck Hernandez, the Marlins pitching coach, on his way to the mound.
Chuck Hernandez famously started with Justin Verlander, worked with Justin, and he's one of the better pitching coaches in the game, and he's trusted with this young staff, including Kohler.
Verlander trying to work his way back right now.
First time on the DL for Verlander.
They've done okay without him.
Yeah, right.
They lost yesterday to fall to 9-2, and they're up 5-0 today in the third against the White Sox.
Look at the lineup you can't pitch to.
Well, they're great hitters who don't strike out. It's a nice combination. So here's Campbell, who flied deep to right his first time up. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. Well, Campbell has been great in these runner at third less than 2 out situations. He's picked up an RBI in that mode the last 3 days. Well, Kohler confuses him inside, and it's 0-2.
Fastball down and away, and then countered with the fastball up and in. Good pitching by Kohler. Key for any hitter, don't be too aggressive in these situations. Pitchers, are you trying to use that aggressiveness against you?
And Campbell is out on 3 pitches, so not a good at bat there for Eric. And that's the first out of the inning. First strikeout of the day for Kohler.
That's just the classic case I was talking about. Just uber aggressive. Campbell wants to do something big, wants to do something great, and it doesn't work out.
Well, Robin Ventura was the king of the bases loaded situations, and he always said, look, I'm not in trouble. Pitcher's in trouble.
Right.
Granderson at third, Darno at second, Duda at first with 1 out. Murphy hit a comebacker his first time up, and Daniel takes a strike. Murph now 2 for 13 in this series. Those are good bases loaded numbers. But again, Kohler gets ahead in the count. So after walking Duda to load the bases, Kohler's thrown 5 straight strikes. Juan Lagares waiting on deck.
Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, with some kind of perfect elixir for Kohler.
Bottle it. Murphy has to bend back.
Well, it's a good pitch. 0-2. You want to straighten the hitter up. Don't let him lean out over that outside corner.
One-two from Kohler. Curveball hit through the hole, base hit. Granderson scores. Darno will be held up against Stanton's strong arm. Murphy ties the game with an RBI single. And the Mets get even at 1.
Well, Kohler's trying to bounce this curveball. He didn't do it. And just nice hitting by Murph. Pulling that right in the hole. And when you watch the back runner Darno, he got a good jump. And Tuffle has to be careful here because Stanton, we know, one of the best arms in baseball. And Murph right on that breaking ball. Sweet hitting by Murph after getting down 2 strikes.
Now Lagares bats with the bases loaded. Goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1. Lagares fouled out to first his first time up. That's with a run in and a chance for more.
Gary, for hitters, what do you want to do when the bases are loaded since you were 6 years old? You want to hit a grand slam. And I think what happens is you've got to wipe that out of your brain. The key is keep the line moving. Base hits are all that you need. If it goes out of the park, well, that's great.
Line drives are always good, unless they're right at somebody. 2-1 now to Lagares. New and ice, waiting on deck. 3 hits and a walk in the inning against Kohler, who had been perfect through the first time around the batting order. That's getting a better measure of him now. And now it's 3-1, and now he's in a really bad spot.
This pitch is going to be away. It's going to be a fastball. That's what Lagares should be concentrating on. Something out over the plate and driving the ball in the gap.
He's great at taking that ball the other way. 3-1 coming. And he lines it the other way, a base hit. Darno is in. Duda will be held up at third. An RBI single for Juan Lagares puts the Mets in front 2-1.
It was like video baseball for the Mets here. Base hit and 1 run scores. Beautiful hitting. You knew you were going to get the ball out over the plate. Gary, you called it, that he has a great ability to hit the ball the other way. And this ball up in the strike zone, instead of dipping that back shoulder, which he was doing, he is right on top of it and hits the top of the ball to keep that a line drive.
7-game hitting streak now for Lagares. 2 runs are in. Base is still loaded. Still only 1 out. Neuenhuis, the 7th man to bat in the inning. Still looking for his first hit of the season. And the curveball sits high, ball 1. Hurt flight out to center his first time up. Duda now at third. Murphy at second. Lagares at first with 1 out. And Kohler really losing his command. Now behind 2-0.
Prado's going to come in here. If you look at the body language of Tom Kohler out there, you see him almost rushing his pitches, almost not walking around and trying to think of what he wants to do, trying to rush himself through this inning. His breaking ball, he's not been able to throw it for a strike. We haven't seen his changeup at all.
Tom Kohler threw just 27 pitches the first 3 innings. He's already thrown 27 pitches in this 4th inning. And they're going to get some warm-up action going in the bullpen. Sam Dyson has already worked twice in this series, serving as the long man apparently today. Is his arm going to be attached by the end of April? Mike Redmond spurring conversation to buy some time for the bullpen, but that didn't work. As Kohler is just lost right now. He's behind Neuenhuis 3-0.
No swing here, Gary.
No. Burke will take one. Tejada's on deck. And that's ball 4. It gets behind Real Muto, but it forces in a run as Duda will come in to score, and the Mets have a 3-1 lead. So a 4-pitch walk to Neuenhuis exacerbates the problem for Tom Kohler. The Mets have a 3-run inning and a chance for a whole lot more. Second walk of the inning issued by Kohler. How do things happen like this to a pitcher, Ron?
It just happens. You're rolling along, and the next thing you know, you can't feel the baseball. Bases are loaded, and you panic. And that's what you have right now for Tommy. He's just panicking.
So now Tejada will try and cash in. Murphy moves up to third. Lagares at second, and Neuenhuis at first. 3 runs are home. Tejada bounced out to short his first time up. Still only 1 out. And he wails at a slider and just gets a piece of it, 0-1. Just saw a 4-pitch walk to the guy before you, and you take that kind of swing at a slider.
Well, you're talking about a guy that's making his 3rd start. He's trying to do something big to maybe get in the lineup more. It's all these little dynamics that happen between your ears.
And now Kohler ahead on Tejada 0-2. Matt Harvey waiting on deck. Matt's got himself a lead. And Kohler, who looked so good the first 3 innings, is on the ropes.
So, Gary, what happens sometimes? Kohler reads the papers. He knows that he's facing Harvey. He's got a 1-0 lead. He said, hey, I can win this game 1-0. And then you get people on, you're trying to hold it to just giving up no runs instead of maybe giving up a run and getting out of the inning.
So you're talking about that at bat to Duda, where he's ahead of the count.
He's turned an inning that he could have got out with 1 or 2 runs into maybe one of those real crooked numbers.
1-2 to Tejada. And Ruben lays off. 2-2. This is something Ruben's always done well, working from behind in the count.
Primarily out of that 8th hole last season. If you're the pitcher Kohler, though, you got to come after him now. You can't go 3-2 again. Your control is just not good enough right now.
In the air, deep left center field. Back in the gap goes Yelich, and he can't get it. Murphy is in. Lagares right behind him. Neuenhuis will score. A bases clearing double for Ruben Tejada. The Mets have put up half a dozen in the 4th and lead 6-1.
Well, Ruben hits it right on the screws. Remember, he's a little man. this ball's not going to carry out of the ballpark. Watch Ozuna and Yelich. Ozuna has this ball, but he lets it go. I shouldn't say he has this ball, but he gives up on it and gives way to Yelich. See how he looks at Yelich right there? And Yelich just couldn't get there in time.
Yelich, a Gold Glover last year, couldn't quite reach it. And Ruben Tejada, with his second double of the year, drives in his first 3 runs. And that's going to be the end of the day for Tom Kohler. Mets have put up a 6th spot here in the 4th inning. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Dyson makes his way in as the Mets will look for more.
Well, little stride. He might be a little more opened up there. But watch the runner at first. Neuenhuis, he does a great job. He reads it, he reads it, he reads it. He touches second to go. Almost like he used second base to propel him towards third base. And he's got great speed for a big man.
Now Matt Harvey bats against the new Marlins pitcher Sam Dyson, and he drives one into center field. Ozuna, though, comes on to grab it, and Tejada able to hustle back to second. So Harvey trying to snap an 0 for 29 streak, came that close.
He pulled a Bartolo, too, and he kept the bat. Very nice.
So that's the second out of the inning. And now Curtis Granderson, who started the whole thing, will come to bat again.
Well, Ozuna was playing shallow with the pitcher up, so that base hit turns into an out. Tejada, though, very excitable, almost gets cut off second base.
Granderson singled to center field to start this inning. 1 for 2 on the day. And Dyson gets a strike. Dyson pitching for the 3rd time in this 4-game series.
Yeah, he should get some kind of award. You were telling me inning and 3rd on Thursday, inning and 2/3 on Friday. Asking him to get 2 outs here on Sunday. Gamer, Mr. Dyson.
And he bounces one in to Curtis. 1-1. Pitcher spot due to bat in the next half inning for the Marlins, so probably Dyson only going to get these 2 outs. But the Marlins pitching staff, they've got a problem.
Yeah.
They're dead last in the National League in staff ERA, and Kohler's blow up here in the 4th will not help.
It's not only dead last, Gary, it's the inability to go deep into games. When your starting pitchers are going less than 5 innings or 5 1/3, puts so much pressure on your bullpen.
And the other thing is, it's a very low strikeout staff. In fact, see, Kohler only struck out one today. They've struck out the fewest hitters of any staff, and that puts pressure on your defense as well. 1-2 to Granderson, and Dyson misses with a changeup, 2-2. So the Mets have batted around here in the 4th inning, putting up their biggest inning of the season so far. Biggest inning since last June. And Granderson has been so patient through the early season, works the count to 3-2. Still looking for his first run batted in of the year. As a proud Kevin Long looks on. Three-2 from Dyson, and Granderson takes the walk. His league-leading 12th walk of the season, and the inning continues. Third walk the Mets have drawn in this inning. And now Travis d'Arnaud singled through the hole at short earlier in this 4th.
Well, we started the broadcast with the number 7. He's changed to number 7, and he's gotten off to a nice start, has Mr. d'Arnaud.
2 on and 2 out. And d'Arnaud lines one in the left field. That's down for a base hit. Here comes Tejada to score the 7th run of the inning. Travis d'Arnaud with a 2-hit 4th inning, and the Mets have a 7-1 lead.
Little sinker down and in, and we've seen how quick d'Arnaud can be inside. He drops that in front of Yelich. That ball was a pretty good sinker that he jumped on.
That run charged to Kohler. Books now closed on him. He gives up 7 runs and 5 hits over 3 1/3. So now it's Duda with 2 out and 2 on. Walked and scored earlier in the inning. 96. Dyson misses low and away. Granderson at second, d'Arnaud at first. Duda the 12th man to bat in the inning. And he lays off the changeup, 2-0. Well, Eric Campbell, who had really the only bad at bat in the inning for the Mets, might get a chance for another one. A better one. I mean, the other out was Harvey lining out to center field. There's a strike, 2-1. It's a nice Pantheon there.
Oh,
right,
beautiful shot.
Strawberry.
Strawberry patch.
Right field. 2-1 coming. And Duda gets one off the fist to foul ball. That'll go out of play. 2-2. Brad Hand has already pitched twice in this series. Gets up in the bullpen. Marlins have an off day tomorrow. They're going to need it to rest their pitching staff. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the changeup. Dyson finally puts an end to the inning. But 12 men came to bat for the Mets, and they pushed 7 runs across. Daniel Murphy drove in the first Met run. Lagares added 1. Tejada brought home 3. Mets give Matt Harvey a 7-1 lead. Tied a Marlins record. Who holds the Mets record for hits in a game?
I think I know this one.
I think we both do. Tonight on Jets Nation, should the Jets trade up to draft a quarterback? Plus, will Rex Ryan add something to the Jets-Bills rivalry? The crew weighs in on an all-new Jets Nation tonight at 7, only on SNY.
That's what's great about this 10th year anniversary, is that I knew nothing about Mets trivia until I started working with you, and now I'm like a, D plus C minus on my way.
I don't know. You showed off your chops on that Battle of the Broadcasters last year.
Listen, you put me in any kind of competitive thing, something takes over. It's not even me.
Speaking of competitive, Matt Harvey now has a 7-1 lead. He's retired the last 6 hitters. Echeverria on deck, then the pitcher's spot. Real Muto has the only RBI for the Marlins. It takes a nice curveball for a strike, 1-2. By the way, the 7-run inning for the Mets, their first since July of 2013 against the Diamondbacks. 7's a very pretty number. 7 wins in a row, 7 runs in an inning.
Can't beat it.
Travis d'Arnaud's 7 had 2 hits in that inning. It's Keith's favorite number.
Who was 7 for the Mets? Most famous, Kranepool?
Yeah, Kranepool, Jose Reyes.
Okay.
And now Travis d'Arnaud.
Oh, I love these shots.
I can tell you right away who the Mets' most famous number 33 is.
Yeah, already.
Standing in the middle of the diamond. 2-2 coming. Popped it up. And that'll come foul back out of play. And that's no knock on Ron Hunt, who was the Mets' first ever All-Star starter and wore number 33. But Matt's in a class by himself.
Well, talking about 33s, I read about him when I was a kid. Lou Alcindor became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know he just had recent heart surgery. We wish him the best.
Fly ball right center. Granderson looking through the sunglasses. 1 out. Love the flip downs. Don't understand why every player doesn't have flip down sunglasses.
Hey, listen, if I could get away with it, if I had that much confidence, I'd wear them out. Like I'm hanging out in the city. I just have flip them down every once in a while.
Well, when you're walking through the city because of the shadows of the buildings, a lot of times you're walking through shade, and then all of a sudden you get to the corner and it's sunny.
There you go.
So you need the flip downs. Here's a Denny Echeverria who grounded out to short his first time up. That might be a marketable fashion.
Right. Or you're walking on the street and someone's coming your way and you don't want to look like you're ogling, so you put the flip downs down, right?
Or you don't want to interact. Donovan Solano on deck to pinch hit. Curveball popped up. Lagares shading his eyes as he comes and puts it away, 2 out. No flip downs required for the Mets center fielder. He's got the wraparounds.
Oh, the motion is just beautiful for such a big guy. It's very compact. There's a couple of things he does that are very unusual and great. One is the wingspan when he reaches the second base, and second, that right hip, we talked about it before, stays unusually high, which gives him that great angle, especially on that curveball.
Now Donovan Solano pinch hitting, batting for Sam Dyson, who came and get the final 2 outs in the 4th. So it looks like Brad Hand will pitch the 5th for the Marlins. Solano, who played a lot of second base for Miami last year, supplanted by D. Gordon. 2 for 8 on the year. Harvey misses low. A ball and a strike. Matt's retired 8 in a row since giving up a hit to the pitcher Tom Kohler, who is now a distant memory in this game. D. Gordon would be next.
Good 2-seam fastball. I like that pitch from Matt. That ball just eats up the right-handed hitters.
Now the 1-2. Struck him out. Solano goes down swinging. Strikeout number 6 for Matt Harvey. He's now retired 9 in a row. Given the lead, sees the finish. 7-1 Mets halfway through. Inning in 2 seasons. In the 4th, Matt Harvey has settled in nicely, and here he is.
You know, when you watch his windup, watch his right hip. Almost every pitcher in baseball, when they deliver the baseball, that hip will stay parallel or drop to the ground. When he lands on his left foot, it brings that right hip up higher off the ground, as you can see. So instead of staying parallel or dropping, it almost goes up in the air. It's a very unusual move.
And does that provide extra power for him?
Yeah, it's 2 things. One, he's really using his legs, so obviously he's pushing off, and that's why he can throw 98 or whatever he throws. But secondly, what it really does is that it finishes his pitches. He is getting where he's getting on top of the ball even more than his 6'4" frame can represent. You know, so he's getting that great angle.
So his power and leverage.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that like on the side working on it, but be able to bring it into a game, it's kind of an innate. Everyone has an innate way. We watched Seaver all those years, got real down low, would get that dirt on his right kind of kneecap. We've seen other pitchers thrown across their body, but to be able to bring that right hip up means that you are pushing off with such force that it is not only pushing you off the mound, but is pushing you up in the air. So when it pushes you up in the air, your front foot, you are almost like pushed up and down. So you have force, boom. So beautiful. I mean, God, I wish I knew that stuff when I was chucking it.
Campbell draws a leadoff walk from Brad Hand. But you would think if that is an enhancement to provide that kind of power and leverage, that there'd be a way to teach that.
You can teach it, but it's innate, Gary. The thing is that, you know, you can teach the fundamentals of pitching or a golf swing or this or that or whatever, but that innate move he has is something I've never seen. Oh, I've seen it in some, but not so pronounced as he has. So it's just part of his body, what makes him tick.
That's out the leadoff man on in the 5th. Daniel Murphy drove in the first Met run in that 7-run 4th inning, and he takes a strike from Hand, who is working for the 3rd straight day. Boy, the Marlins bullpen has really gotten torn up in this series, and that's because their starters have just not been able to go deep into games. You know, we talked coming into the series about no Jose Fernandez till sometime later in the year. Henderson Alvarez, their opening day starter, on the shelf. Matt Latos struggling. Well, the consequence of all that is that their bullpen is just overtaxed, like you don't expect a bullpen to be the first 2 weeks of the season. Down to first. Morris with the stop. Gets the out at second. Echeverria the return in time for the 3-6-3 double play.
Well, it hasn't been all orthodox by Mr. Morris, but he gets the job done. Kind of throws off his back leg, and the return throw, of course, Echeverria has such a good arm, easily gets Murphy at first base.
2 out and nobody on now. Juan Lagares. Just to finish up that point about the Marlins. Thursday night, Jared Cozart went 5 1/3. Friday night, David Phelps went 4 2/3. Last night, Matt Latos went 5. And today, Tom Kohler goes 3 1/3.
You know, like a day like today, if you're coming in as a pitcher, you're saying to yourself, you know, I got to get 21 outs today for my ball club. They need it. The bullpen needs it. And Tom Kohler just wasn't able to do it today.
Well, Matt Harvey gave up the first run of this game, but Kohler gave up the next 7.
And that's really the first bad start I've ever seen Tom Kohler have against the Mets.
Well, it began well. He retired the first 9, but never got through the 4th inning. And Harvey has now found his groove. Meanwhile, Hand finds the inside corner to Lagares, who had a base hit to drive in a run in that big 4th inning. That's got 7 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks in that 4th inning. Sent 12 men to bat. Hand misses below the knees, 3-1. Brad Hand from Chaska, Minnesota. He was a 5th starter candidate in spring training, and I'll tell you what, the way the starting staff's going right now, maybe they need to give him a shot. Garris slugs one out to center, but Ozuna's got it lined up, and that retires the side. So Hand works a hitless fifth. Harvey back to the mound for the sixth, leading 7-1. Ottomanelli's, good meat. Bleecker Street Pizza.
Bleecker Street is always a great walk on a Sunday.
You can do a lot of eating on that street.
You can.
Matt Harvey out for the sixth inning, facing the top of the batting order for the third time. Matt's retired 9 in a row. He's got himself a 6-run lead. Sunny afternoon, full house. D. Gordon takes Lone away, and it's 1-1. Gordon has flied to right and struck out 0 for 2. Matt has struck out 6. He has not walked a batter. He now has 23 strikeouts and 1 walk over his first 17 innings. Up the middle, and Gordon's got a base hit. So D. Gordon, who had a 5-hit night last night, has his first in this game and the 4th against Harvey.
Just a little changeup left in the middle of the plate. 2 changeups in a row. I think you're playing into the hand of D. Gordon, throwing him changeups.
Now Christian Yelich, who's 0 for 2. Another way, we mentioned Harvey not walking about it today. Mets starters have now gone 19 straight innings without issuing a walk. DeGrom 7 last night, Colon 7 the night before, and now Harvey for 5 with no walks among them. Yelich just struck out and hit into a fielder's choice, 0 for 2. Just 2 for 15 in this series. That just missed. Carlos Stanton waiting. Yelich just gets a piece, 2-1.
We were talking about his hip before, but when you look at the lower half and his foot, watch how that front foot, it opens up So he throws a little bit across his body, but he tries to get that to that line that he drives. And see that swivel on that front foot? That's how he tries to make sure that that straight line between himself, the rubber, and the plate, he's always moving in the right direction. That's why his control is impeccable. That landing area, he'll hit that 85, 90 times today.
That's why it's so dark in the one spot. 2-2 to Yelich. Struck him out. Overpowered on that fastball at 97 miles an hour. Yelich, another Marlins hitter, who's just all messed up right now. That's 7 strikeouts for Matt Harvey.
Well, when good hitters are lost, to me, it's mostly because they're in between. And what does that mean? It's that they're in between the breaking ball and the fastball. They can't stay back on the breaking ball and can't catch up to the good fastball. I mean, that's as late a swing as you're ever going to see a good hitter take on a fastball away.
Now Stanton, who's been up twice and struck out both times against Matt today. And bounces one foul. Let's go back to those first 2 at-bats.
Well, both strikeouts. The first one, that's similar to the DeGrom pitch last night. And then in the third, that was probably the best fastball that Harvey threw all afternoon.
That one exploded.
The crowd likes this matchup, especially when Harvey has a chance to ring up another punch out.
Off Darno's mitt, and down to second base goes Gordon. Trying to elevate that fastball and elevated it a little too much.
Well, he let this one go. And it's going so fast, Darno can't get his glove up in time.
It'll be a wild pitch charge to Harvey, his first of the season. Stanton has struck out 7 of his last 8 at-bats. Lines this one into center field for a base hit. Gordon around third. He'll head on in. So Giancarlo Stanton drives in a run with a 1-out single to cut the Met lead to 7-2.
Goes with the fastball right down the middle. Nice hitting by Stanton. Looked like he cut down his swing a little bit with 2 strikes and gets the RBI hit. These pitches that Stanton is hitting, once he gets hot later in the season, the Mets are not going to be able to make that kind of mistake because it'll be in the stands.
4th RBI of the series for Stanton, his 11th of the year. And now Prado pounds one into the dirt, 0-1.
One thing about Stanton is that he has such long arms that his plate coverage, see that was off the end of the bat. His plate coverage is extraordinary.
Tejada to his right. Nice feed to Murphy to get the second out. That's what Ruben Tejada gives you. A little more range at shortstop, and they get the force on Stanton, 2 away.
What's interesting about infielders, good infielders, is that even though they're catching that on the backhand, their brain's working in overtime to get their feet right so they can make that throw on the run going away from second base and make it accurately.
So 2 away. Prado now at first, and here's Michael Morris, who's grounded out and flied out 0 for 2. Harvey's now allowed 2 runs and 5 hits on the afternoon. And he gets ahead on Morris. So it's now 20 of 39 starts that Harvey has given up 1 run or less.
There you go.
This is on the other side of the ledge.
You can afford it more here, though, with the 7 runs that your teammates put up for you.
Do you ever think that way as a pitcher?
No.
I've got a big lead. I can afford to give up a run or 2.
You fight and just try to stay. Because what happens on the bench when the guys are scoring like that, I mean, it's just so happy on the bench, and everyone's high-fiving, and you just try to get in your corner and go, no runs, no run. I mean, you never want to give up anything if you're a competitive pitcher.
Broken back grounder to Tejada, and he'll go the long way to get Morse. That ends the inning. Marlins get a run, but it's a mere scratch for the Mets, who lead 7-2 in the 6th. Kirk Neuenhuis, first pitch swinging, flies one to center field against Brad Hand, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Matt Harvey getting ready for his turn at bat. This time his batting helmet is right within range. And working his second inning of relief, Ruben Tejada up for the 3rd time. His last time up, he had the biggest hit in that 7-run 4th inning for the Mets, driving one beyond the reach of Yelich in deep left center for a 3-run double. Ruben's first 3 RBIs of the season.
You know, when you get on these kind of rolls, Gary, and you win 7 straight and things are happening your way, invariably it's always because your full roster is contributing. You know, you give Flores the day off after you hit a home run, and Ruben Tejada comes in there and hits a 3-run double.
Well, how about this? The Mets now have 8 RBIs from the number 8 spot in the batting order so far this year. That's the most in the National League.
David goes down. You bring up Campbell. He's your hottest hitter all of a sudden. It's that's how it works.
Well, they say it's a 25-man effort. It's actually more than 25.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're using maybe 35 players, maybe 40 over the course of a year. I mean, you want to get contributions from everybody who gets a chance to play.
And once you get that real wheeling feeling working, where everyone's contributing, then when they're put in a place that they have to contribute late in the game, they come through because they've had those positive results happen. You know, the Mets have been under the gun so much in the last few years. It's like you almost can't use the bench because you're trying to win a series in the last day instead of winning the first 3 games like they have here against Miami.
Well, that even applies to the way the Mets used the bullpen yesterday. Yeah. Familia and Blevins weren't available, and Carlos Torres faltered, and all of a sudden there was Alex Torres in a primetime moment, and he comes through. Three-two from Hand to Tejada, and Ruben fouls one off. Well, the next three opponents for the Mets, the Braves, who have the only series victory against the Mets so far this year, the Yankees and the Bronx coming up Friday through Sunday, and then the Mets are in Miami for a brief road trip before coming right back home. Ruben pulls one down to third. Sharp one hopper for Prado. And there are two out. For more on the next series coming up against the Braves, let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, Mets got to the Marlins bullpen pretty early today. They're going to want to do the same thing against the Braves coming up, because after that really surprisingly great start by the Braves' new look bullpen, they've really tailed off these last 6 games. 13 earned runs allowed by the Braves bullpen in the last 6. They've gone 2-4 in that stretch. The first 5 games didn't allow a run, went 5-0. Not surprising when you see the way the bullpens are, or the way the bullpen pitched, what those 2 records were. Jim Johnson, also a guy that we saw down in Atlanta looking really good against the Mets. He has not had a last 2 good appearances. 4 earned runs, 2 home runs, including blowing a lead last night in the 8th inning, a 2-run shot to Jose Bautista.
One thing that's held up in that bullpen is Jason Grilli, 5 for 5 now in save opportunities. Braves are 7-4 coming into the day and leading this afternoon in Toronto, and getting a fine start from Shelby Miller, who's been great so far. Came into the day with an ERA under 1.
Yeah, but that was great acquisition for them. I mean, even though they gave up Walden and Hayward.
And Matt Harvey has himself a base hit. Tracked down by Yelich. Matt Harvey snaps an 0 for 30 skid that dates back to 2013 and has his first hit of the season. Well, he hit a bullet his last time up. This time he gets some payoff.
I mean, this is a good swing for a pitcher. Up in that box. Kind of out-muscles the ball as he hits it to left field. No jacket for Harv. Love it.
On a 57-degree afternoon, Curtis Granderson 1 for 2 and a walk. Curtis got the 7-run inning started with a base hit in the 4th inning, and then later in that inning drew a walk to prolong it and lead to another run. Badly fooled by Hand, 0-2. You know, we talked about the possibility of the Marlins giving Brad Hand a chance to start. You know, the Marlins have not started a lefty this year. And I was shocked when I read today that there are 6 teams in the National League, 6 of the 15 who have not started a lefty this season. And the Mets have only 1 lefty in their rotation, but it just seems as though left-hand starting pitching has disappeared. What is that?
I don't know. I mean, is it happenstance that just there aren't a lot of lefty prospects, or the ones that are left-handed are on the horizon?
Or they're all becoming Jerry Blevins, all becoming that one-out reliever.
Quicker way to the big leagues, right?
John Neese gets his next start Tuesday night against the Braves. Two coming, and Granderson fouls it off. Well, this is the way the City Probables match up for the series against the Braves. Trevor Cahill got lit up in his first start for the Braves. Eric Stoltz, whom the Mets saw in Atlanta, up against Dylan G on Wednesday, and then Bartolo Colon goes for his 4th win against the Braves ace Julio Teheran in the day game on Thursday. And Granderson down on strikes to end the inning. Hand has his first strikeout. And we are through 6 at Citi Field, with the Mets trying for their 8th in a row and leading 7-2. Pirates record for hits in a game, and that would be number 13.
Yes.
Edgardo Alfonso, who not only went 6 for 6 in that game in Houston, he scored 6 runs, and he hit 3 home runs. Now that's a day.
And that was also on the old Astrodome, right?
Yes,
which is celebrating its anniversary, 1965. What's the first year? And they were wearing some throwback uniforms, the Astros, that looked spectacular.
Marcell Ozuna leads off in the 7th inning against Matt Harvey. Now, did the Astros win in their throwback?
Yes, they hit a couple of home runs. Springer.
Is that the game Dallas Keuchel pitched?
Yeah, boy, he's good.
Tell you what, you see a lot of guys this year, and Jacob deGrom is certainly in that category, and the 2 guys for the Astros, Keuchel and Colin McHugh as well, who have not missed a beat after their breakthrough seasons.
You know,
doesn't always work that way.
I know. Propitious starts don't always guarantee success in baseball. Sometimes it's the opposite.
It's the Joe Charbonneau effect. Ozuna pulls one through the hole, and he's got his 2nd hit of the day. Well, it's the 3rd time that the Marlins have led off an inning with a base hit against Matt Harvey. Hit number 6 for Miami. And now JT Realmuto, who's 0 for 2, drove in a run with a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. And now at 80 pitches for the day, threw 95 in his last start against the Phillies. And Realmuto fouls it away.
When you're watching a pitcher, watch his head. See his vision. See his eyes. They are on the target the entire time. If you talk to someone like Tom Seaver, he used to always profess that it's hard to stare at the same target for over, a big period of time.
Realmuto takes one the other way for a base hit. So back-to-back singles for the Marlins to start this 7th inning.
But Harvey's able to. But that head staying straight, another reason why he's got good control. This ball, though, up over the middle of the strike zone. We've seen Realmuto in this series, ability to hit the ball to right field and with some pop.
That's going to get their bullpen up behind Harvey here in the 7th. Jerry Blevins is beginning to throw. Dan Worthen out of the mound to talk to Matt. You got the number 8 hitter Echeverria at the plate, and Ichiro Suzuki out on deck to pinch hit. So Harvey trying to find his way through some trouble here in the 7th inning. Gave up a couple of hits and a run in the 6th that drew the Marlins a shade closer. Echeverria has grounded to short and fly to center 0 for 2.
They were talking about keeping that head straight. Cliff Lee comes to mind, a guy that always kept his head straight. That's why he had great control. Chris Sale does not for the Chicago White Sox, but he's kind of a whirling dervish of a pitcher.
Who was the lefty reliever for the Red Sox, the Japanese pitcher who looked at the ground when he threw the pitch to the plate?
I want to say Uehara.
No, the other guy with an O.
Yeah.
But I would think as a hitter that would scare you to death. Little flare over Duda. That's a base hit. Ozuna to 3rd. He'll be waved home. Granderson's throw goes to 2nd. 3 straight hits to start the 7th inning for the Marlins. And they sneak it a little closer. It's now 7-3. So Echeverria drives in his 6th run of the year.
Well, we saw last night with the Marlins in the 9th inning. There's some fight in them. Here getting their 3rd run, and Terry Collins, after this 3rd hit in this inning, looks like he's going to come out and take out his big man.
So Echeverria chases home a run, and Matt Harvey is done after 6 innings plus. Harvey takes his exit in his 3rd start of the year. Jerry Blevins coming in. 7-3 Mets in the 7th. We'll be right back. 3 runs, responsible for a couple on base. Jerry Blevins comes in to face the pinch hitter Ichiro Suzuki with first and third and nobody out.
Oh, interesting. You see Collins talking to Harvey. No smiles there for Harv.
And Terry's just got to try and figure out a way to get 9 more outs. That's at a 7-1 lead in this game. It's now 7-3 with a couple of men on for Ichiro, who struck out as a pinch hitter last night against Carlos Torres. And he hits a little flare on the right side, picked out of the air by Duda, throw to third, and back in time is Real Muto. Well handled by Duda, and the Mets get the first out of the inning.
One of the things that Duda does well, I mean, this is an easy catch, but he can throw on the run. I mean, very nice. I thought he was out at third base, but no. Good running by Real Muto to get back. Freeze on the line drive. Oh, a little step to the right, but able to get back in time.
Gary Cederstrom, the umpire, right there with the call. So that's 1 out. And now D. Gordon, who's 1 for 3, singled and scored a run in the 6th. Jerry Blevins is still perfect on the season.
Perfect, and when you're a left-handed specialist and you faced 13 left-handed hitters and you've retired them all, I think that's a good stat. Even better than the sabermetric stats, I'm telling you.
He's only faced 1 right-handed batter this season. That was Jeff Baker the other night. Baker had a bullet to center that was caught. But Blevins has gotten everybody he's faced so far after being picked up in a trade late in spring training from the Nats. Real Muto at third. Echeverria at first with 1 out. A run home here in the 7th. And Gordon hits the curveball off Blevins, freezing at third Real Muto, and Blevins makes the glove flip and gets the out. And now concern in the Mets dugout for Blevins. See where he took this shot.
Boy, did it hit him on the outside of the left hand? Maybe that's why he flipped it with his glove. I mean, nice play there, but I thought it might have hit him in his left hand. Watch when he turns. Yeah, it's right off the forearm of his left hand throwing arm.
So it goes as a 1-3 put out for the second out of the inning. And let's see if he can make a fist and throw a warm-up pitch. Nope, the Mets are going to go right to the bullpen.
Smart.
So Blevins stays perfect, but forced out of the game after taking that liner off his forearm. And we'll get some ice on that and maybe some x-rays as well.
I mean, I think one of the most important things why you want to take a picture out there, see he's squeezing his hand to make sure that there's no broken bones. But even more importantly, you're going to end up with a big welt on your forearm. Get ice on it as quickly as possible.
So Blevins retires 2 hitters. Buddy Carlisle was running in from the bullpen, but the Mets wanted the lefty with Christian Yelich coming up, and so Carlisle will go back where he came from.
Well, you know why? Because of an injury. You can bring in a left-hander even though he hasn't been throwing. Let him throw as much as he'd like to.
Exactly. Whoever comes in will get as many warm-up tosses as he requires to be ready, with the pitcher leaving because of injury.
Mets are pretty good at one pitcher coming out of the bullpen who's not going to pitch a year.
Was it
the lefty?
Yeah.
I mean,
of course.
Burdick.
Burdick. Tim Burdick. By the way, the lefty we were thinking of from the Red Sox before, Hideki Okajima. Didn't look at the plate when he threw the ball. So it looks like Alex Torres is going to come in, fresh off his first big league save last night and wearing the halo protective gear on his hat. So Torres will get as long as he needs to warm up. Coming in to face Christian Yelich as Jerry Blevins absorbs a blow but gets it out. So Torres is in. We'll take a break. 7-3 Mets in the 7th. We'll be right back to Citi Field. dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Coming up after the post game on an all-new Mets Insider, from the first impressions to the overwhelming belief, get an inside look at all the sights and sounds of opening day on Mets Insider, presented by W.B. Mason, today after the post game, only on SNY. Mets leading at 7-3 in the 7th inning. Alex Torres will come in to replace Jerry Blevins, who took a shot off his forearm. Blevins coming in after Matt Harvey gave up 3 hits to start the 7th.
You know, Gary, I think you know, I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback here because I didn't say it before Matt left the game. But I think one of the challenges that you knew coming into the season was Terry Collins and how to handle Harvey. It's going to be a very difficult thing. But I think what you're going to look at in some of these games, that if he has a big lead, you know he's fine. He can definitely go 7 innings, but maybe you can save him an inning there, even though he's going to have some extra time. So, I don't know. It's a hard thing to do because it goes against anything you're taught as a manager in dealing with an ace pitcher like Harvey is. But he's an ace pitcher with restrictions that you somehow have to put a governor on until next season when you let him fly.
And the goal this year is to have him available in September, and hopefully if the Mets have in October, have him available then as well. Alex Torres got his first big league save last night, striking out Christian Yelich with a tying run on base, and he'll get Yelich again with Real Muto at third and Echeverria at second, and 2 out. Yelich 0 for 3 tonight, 2 for 16 in the series.
You know, we're kind of ho-humming it through this game, but this is a huge out.
Especially with Stanton waiting on deck. And it's dribbled foul. This might be a one-batter situation for Torres, because if Yelich gets on, I'm sure they'll have Carlisle ready to go after Stanton.
15 minutes of warm-up for about a minute and a half of work, maybe.
Well, kudos to Alex Torres, because he really did his full warm-up on the mound. And a lot of times pitchers won't do that in these situations because everybody's waiting around for them. But this is an important at-bat for him to be fully ready for. To strike to Yelich, who was so fooled by Torres last night on the final out of the game, he lost his bat, which wound up in right field as the game came to an end. A very rough series for Yelich. Torres wearing that next generation protective cap that he just got last night.
Is it called the Halo, or is it nicknamed the Halo?
I think people have just been calling it that. I'm not sure what the actual name is. But last year when he was with San Diego, he wore the cap that had the padding on the inside.
This is outside.
It's an actual piece that wraps around the cap and then velcros in the back. And it's supposed to provide protection. Of course, that protection is only available above the cap line, which I guess is still a problem. 2-1 to Yelich. And that's a nice knee-high strike by Torres, 2-2.
Hey, listen, in this rough and tumble macho world of baseball, good fastball here, it's really hard to stand out and stick out and say, hey, listen, I'm going to do something that's going to protect me, protect my family. Kudos to him. I couldn't have done it, but I think it's great that he's doing it when a lot of people would not do it.
Two and two to Christian Yelich. In the dirt, squirts away, trying to score is Real Muto, and he is safe. Aggressive base running by Real Muto on a ball that did not get that far away from d'Arnaud, and it's now a 7-4 Met lead.
This was a really aggressive play, but it also could have been a disaster for the Marlins with 2 in scoring position. But he read it, he made his decision, and we've already seen 2 hustle plays by Real Muto.
Wild pitch charge to Torres, bringing in the second run of the inning. So it was a 7-1 lead, is now a 7-4 Med lead. 3-2 the count to Yelich, with Stanton looming on deck. And he struck him out again. Used the changeup to get Yelich this time. And for the second straight day, Torres gets his man. But the Marlins get 2 runs, both charged to Harvey, and get closer. 7th inning stretch time at Citi Field. Mets 7, Marlins 4. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, visit tristateford.com. My New York Lottery, play cash for life from the New York Lottery with a top prize of $1,000 every day for life. And by State Farm, today's State Farm agent of the game is John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. Mets will take tomorrow off. They're back in action Tuesday night for the first of 3 against the Braves with Jonathan Neese on the mound. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock Tuesday night right here on SNY. Let's continue to play in division. First 16, 23 of their first 26 against the National League East. Stands up and stretching on a bright, chilly Sunday afternoon. That's leading at 7-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. We have had some huge crowds this first week of the season. Sellout last night. Over 38,000 the night before. Sellout opening day. 38,000 for the Harvey start Tuesday night. Certainly the most well-attended first week we've had since the Mets moved to Citi Field in 2009.
Close to a sellout today, right? I mean, it looks like it just from looking in the stands.
A.J. Ramos will take over the pitching for the Marlins as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you see his numbers from this year, but when you look at his year last year, 73 appearances, 7-0, I believe he won on the season. His only issue is that he had 43 walks last year. He cuts down on those. He'll be one of the elite late inning relievers in the game.
Hasn't pitched since the opening game of the series Thursday night when he got 2 outs. Comes in to face Travis d'Arnaud, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Both of his hits came in a 7-run 4th inning for the Mets. And the breaking ball in for a strike from Ramos. d'Arnaud with his 2 for 3 today. That's his batting average up to .317. through the first 2 weeks, and that's inside and hit him in the hand.
That's not good.
Well, the Mets already lost Blevins to a line drive off his forearm. Now d'Arnaud hit in the hand by a pitch.
Choking up on the bat, and see that hit right on the bottom of his right hand. I mean, you're hoping it catches. If you hold your hand out, folks, you're hoping it catches that fleshy part that has a lot of muscle there at the bottom of your hand on the outside part, not, of course, the wrist or the bones. The trainers are making him take his glove off so they can look at it, see what's happened, and they'll manipulate not only your fingers but also will feel your wrist if there's anything in there that feels unusual and is painful for the player. You can see d'Arnaud kind of cringing, wincing a little bit with this manipulation by the trainer.
Brian Chicolo, the assistant athletic trainer, trying to determine whether Travis is okay to stay in.
Yep.
And he is coming out of the game. It's an old saying in baseball, you never get hurt when you're in a slump. So the second Met to have to leave the field in this 7th inning. First Blevins and now d'Arnaud, and they'll go and take him for x-rays immediately to see whether anything's broken in that hand or wrist. And so Anthony Recker will come in and run for d'Arnaud. So Recker's aboard at first base as a pinch runner. Second pitch that A.J. Ramos throws hits d'Arnaud, forces him out of the game, and now Lucas Duda comes up. Duda is 0 for 2 and a walk today. Walked and scored in that big 4th inning when the Mets got all 7 of their runs. Full shift on. And Duda takes a strike. And this time they began with Echeverria on the left side, so they don't need to switch.
Well, I'm thinking maybe because the score is 7-4, maybe they think there's no way that Duda's going to bunt. But I like this configuration much better. Maybe because of the guy Recker on first, it makes it a little easier to turn a double play.
Well, also in a double play situation, you leave Echeverria in the comfortable spot of covering the bag, coming from the left side. Ramos with a changeup gets ahead 0-2. And now he strikes him out with a changeup. So a nice sequence there by A.J. Ramos to strike out Duda for the first out of the inning.
Ramos has 4 pitches, and they're all excellent. So at any time, once he gets ahead of you, there's 4 pitches he can throw to put you away. This time the changeup to Duda.
So 1 out and 1 on. Mets offense has been a little stagnant since that big 5th inning. The only hit since then was Matt Harvey's base hit with 2 out in the 6th. Campbell's 0 for 2 and a walk. And he takes up and in. And now the fans getting a little restless with A.J. Ramos.
Ramos is going to get his big slugger Stanton plunked if he doesn't start throwing the ball over the plate.
Stanton leads off for the Marlins in the 8th inning. Campbell takes a slider off the plate, and it's 2-0.
Those conveniently wild guys are the toughest at bat sometimes for hitters.
Daniel Murphy waits on deck. Grounded down to third, might be a double play. Prado to Gordon and on to first in time. 5-4-3 double play, side retired. So Ramos with a hitless 7th. Now we go to the 8th. Stanton to lead off. Mets have just gotten some bad news on reliever Jerry Blevins, who was hit on the forearm by a line drive in the last inning. The Mets just announced that Blevins has suffered a fractured left forearm. Listen to this. Hear that click.
Oh, man.
Which in retrospect now is not a sound you wanted to hear. So Blevins is going to be out for a while, fractured left forearm, and he had only been perfect over the first 2 weeks of the season.
Well, what made me fearful, guys, is that when he went after this baseball, he had no inkling of picking it up with his bare hand. He tossed it with his glove. So obviously he felt that pain immediately. And what a bad break. Like his number. 13 lefties he faced, 0 for 13.
Buddy Carlisle will pitch the 8th inning for the Mets. He'll face Giancarlo Stanton, whom he struck out in last night's game, and he gets a strike on the outside corner. So, you know, the Mets have been carrying 3 left-handers, Sean Gilmartin and Alex Torres the others, but Blevins is really of those 3, the only situational lefty, the guy who is just great at getting the lefties out. And Stanton gets one of the gap in right center field. That'll go back to the wall. And so Giancarlo Stanton has his 2nd hit of the day, a leadoff double in the 8th. And trouble starts to find the Mets bullpen again.
Well, I think what has happened in this game and has happened in this series, and we showed it in the beginning, is that I think the Mets have done a nice job of pitching him in, but have spent a lot of time in that outside part of the plate. And you can't just stay one way with with Giancarlo, sorry, because he will wear you out to right center.
He's still Mike.
Yeah.
He chooses to be Giancarlo.
I'd be Giancarlo if I had a choice.
Martin, you could be. You could be Giancarlo Darling tomorrow.
I can't pull
We can set that up for you.
Maybe 25 years ago, but I can't pull it off now. I can barely pull off Harold.
Prado is 1 for 3. It could be Maurice.
There we go. I could do that legally too.
Maurice. Foul away, and it's 0-2 to Prado. Well, this is a big batter for Carlisle because you got the slugging Michael Morse on deck, and you don't want him coming up as the tying run. Well, Jerry's Familia had the day off yesterday, but he is definitely in play today. 5 saves this week, and he may get another crack at one today.
These 3 outs here are going to be the most important, though.
I wonder whether you consider using Familia for more than 3 outs.
With a day off.
Carlisle got Prado on a ground ball yesterday. Leaves one outside, and it's 1-2. Matt Harvey went 6 innings plus, got charged with 4 runs and 8 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Jerry Blevins an ill-fated 2 outs. But the second one, a line drive off his forearm that fractured a bone and will put him out of action. Alex Torres struck out Yelich down the 7th, and now Carlisle, starting the 8th, has given up a leadoff double to Stanton.
Recker and Carlisle having some difficulties getting on the same page.
Well, with Blevins going down, it will certainly fuel speculation about who's going to replace him. Vic Black got promoted to Binghamton, made his first rehab appearance in Double-A yesterday. And of the 2 Met rehabbing relievers, he is the closest to returning, but whether he's ready yet, I think, is an open question.
Back-to-back are the keys for relievers when they're rehabbing.
And he hasn't done that yet. Of course, Bobby Parnell, the other one, he's further away. So we'll see who gets that roster spot. Right now, Buddy Carlisle just trying to get a big out against Prado, who lays off, and it's outside 3-2. They check it first, but that was no swing. Eric Cooper confirms. So a full count to Prado after Carlisle got ahead 0-2.
Good job, Prado, holding that back. Good call by Eric Cooper at first base.
Stanton at second and nobody out. Carlisle needs a conversation with Recker.
I mean, he throws 90% fastballs. Shouldn't be too much of a problem here with Michael Morse on deck. At some point, something down in the strike zone. Prado's a high ball hitter. All across the bottom of the strike zone, get yourself a ground ball.
And he gets the ground ball. Tejada in the hole. The jump throw to first. Not in time. Spectacular effort by Tejada, but Prado beats it out for an infield hit as Stanton holds at second.
Well, he can't do more than Ruben Tejada did here. 3-4 steps out into the outfield grass. And with the leap and the strong throw, beautiful athletic move. But Prado had enough speed to beat the play. Good stretch there by Lucas.
Off the bag.
No, notice that.
Well, nice effort by Tejada, but now the Marlins, who were once down by 6 runs in this game, get the tying run to the plate with the big bat of Michael Morse, who homered in the game last night. Morse is 0 for 3 today. And he takes a strike from Carlisle.
Interesting about Michael Morse is that sometimes a guy's stance at the plate kind of tells you how you got to pitch him. His arms are out away from his body over the plate, tells you that he has great plate coverage, but the ball in is where you got to pitch him.
And Carlisle tries to jam him. Now Keith held his arms out over the plate. Could you pitch him inside?
You could. You had to pitch him inside. The problem with Keith is that he could foul it off or muscle it out to left field, but Keith will tell you now, I mean, he could handle anything middle of the plate away. Ball in was a slight Achilles heel for him.
One to Morris. Little flare, shallow center, and that'll fall for a base hit. Stanton to third. He'll hold up there as the throw comes into the plate, and the Marlins have the bases loaded and nobody out. Tying runs on base, and Marcell Ozuna coming up.
Well, there's a part of this game that you thought that the Marlins would just lay down the rest of the game once the Mets put that 7 runs on the board in the 4th inning. Well, they have not. Giancarlo Stanton a couple days ago talked about that they really needed some fire. They got a good feeling in the clubhouse with more fire. Well, they're trying to show it in the last inning last night and their comeback attempt today.
Buddy Carlisle, who has been so effective for the Mets last season and the first part of this, giving up 3 straight hits to start this 8th inning. And Dan Worthen out to the mound for a conversation now to see if he can be of any utility before Ozuna steps in. Ozuna, who looked all messed up earlier in the series, has looked good today with a couple of base hits against Matt Harvey.
Well, Carlisle is going to have to try to get through this right-handed hitting bottom of the lineup. But after Torres is pitched and also Blevins with a fractured forearm, Gil Martin comes into play now for the top of the order.
Now, normally this would be a spot with Carlisle struggling where you think about Carlos Torres, but Terry Collins said before the game today he wanted to stay away from Carlos Torres, who's had a lot of work over the first 2 weeks of the season. So it's on Carlisle here to try and figure this out with the bases loaded and nobody out. 7-4 New York, tying runs on base. Ozuna 2 for 3 on the day. And first pitch swinging, flies one out to right. That'll get a run in. Granderson back to get it. Stanton tags and scores. Prado tags and goes to third. It's now 7-5 New York. Sacrifice fly for Ozuna, just his 3rd RBI of the season. So 1 out, runners at first and third, and JT Realmuto coming up.
Well, Realmuto earlier in the game against Harvey hit a ball that you thought was going to be a double play and wasn't. That's what Buddy Carlisle's got to be thinking about now. Something on the ground, and the Mets defense has got to come through.
Real Muto last time up had a base hit to right field against Harvey. Prado now at third. Morris at first with one out. 7-5 New York. Marlins have scored in the last 3 innings. And Real Muto lifts one to left center. That'll get a run in. Prado will tag at third. Lagares comes over to get it. Tagging at first is Morris, but he's going to hold. So back-to-back sacrifice flies, and this is now a 1-run game. Real Muto drives in his 2nd run of the day. And now it's 7-6 New York. So both Ozuna and Real Muto with first pitch sacrifice flies. And the Marlins have scored 5 unanswered runs since they trailed 7-1. Now Morris at first and 2 out, and here's Echeverria, who singled a drive and a run, knocking Harvey out of the game in the 7th. Miami with a run in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 2 home here in the 8th. And for the 2nd straight day, would look like a comfortable Met lead has turned into a nail biter. Carlisle misses low and in, ball 1.
Yeah.
Reed Brignac out on deck to pinch hit. If Echeverria can keep the inning going. The Marlins now have 11 hits in this game. Echeverria trying to bunt his way on with Campbell playing deep at third.
And that's not a good play. That to me is a selfish play. You know, you have the tying run on. Okay, if you get a base hit, then you have the winning run on base, but you're really kind of telling the guy coming off the bench, Brignac, that you're going to have to come through. As a hitter, you're trying to hit the ball in the gap, tie this game up.
Brian Morris up in the Marlins bullpen. Carlisle trying to stagger his way through the 8th and comes up and into Echeverria.
Well, that's where you're going to play your Duda holding the runner on. He's on the line, and Campbell on the line also. No doubles.
And Echeverria waving at the fastball, 2-2. Just got a piece to foul back.
You know, these games are funny games. It's, you know, you get the 7th spot, Gary. You got Matt Harvey on the mound. There's a human nature to cruise control at some point, and you just can't do it.
Well, the other piece is, if you're the team that's lost the first 3 games of the series, you got a little extra life to try to avoid getting swept.
Avoid the embarrassment.
Yeah. And the Marlins trying desperately to avoid that fate. Time asked for. Carlisle gave up 3 straight hits to start the inning. 2 of them have come home. 2-2. Off the corner to Echeverria, full count. And that'll get Morris an automatic start at first base. Morris is not fast, but with a couple of extra strides might make a difference on a double in the gap. Three and 2 to Echeverria. Struck him out. Buddy Carlisle bends but does not break. The Marlins get 2, but Carlisle keeps the Mets in front. Buddy, big strikeout. Daniel Murphy leads off the home 8th inning against A.J. Ramos. Murphy 1 for 3 on the day. Mets looking for insurance. And he grounds one weakly for Gordon to handle. 1 out. Well, Mets have been up all day, but the news keeps getting worse. They've already lost Jerry Blevins to a fractured forearm. Now the word on Travis d'Arnaud is fractured right hand.
I mean, as soon as it hit him, I know you guys heard me at home just cringe. When it hits underneath like that, it always catches a part of the hand and wrist. And just a shame start he's gotten off to.
Well, we said it earlier and say it again. You never get hurt when you're in a slump.
Yeah.
Blevins was off to a perfect start. d'Arnaud was off to a wonderful start. And now they're going to both be out for a significant amount of time. 2-0 to 1-1 to Lagares.
And not especially for d'Arnaud, but injuries have played a big part in his young career.
Well, it opens up a very interesting opportunity for one of the Mets' best prospects, Kevin Plawecki. We've been talking about Plawecki for the last couple of years, the first-round pick out of Purdue, and he's going to get a chance, you would think, to step in and be the #1 catcher while d'Arnaud's out. That one eats up Prado and goes down the line, and Lagares is going to wind up at second base. So Lagares pulls one through Prado. He'll get credit for a double.
Well, Prado just couldn't backhand this. This is a play that you've seen him make many times, but underneath the glove. Want to work from bottom to top. Ball did not come up like he thought. And Lagares, always hustling, gets 2 out of it. You know, Gary, the only caveat to that would be, and I don't know, I'll look it up here, is how well Plawecki is swinging the bat. Your other option is to bring Johnny Monell up, the left-handed hitter, just for a short time. If Plawecki isn't right now, because you want him to come up when he's full force.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but if it's a fractured right hand for d'Arnaud, we're talking 6 weeks, right?
Yeah,
at least. So it's not a situation where you want your backup to be playing all the time. You'd rather have your, much as with the Marlins with Real Muto.
Yeah, you're right.
They brought him up and they played him.
Even though they're paying $7 million a year to Saltalamacchia.
Exactly. So we'll see what Sandy Alderson decides, but that's certainly going to be the conversation after the game.
There'll be no barbecues for the front office tonight. They will be in meetings the rest of the night.
2-2 to Nieuwenhuis. Plawecki through his first 8 games this year, hitting .229, no homers, 6 RBI. So not off to a great offensive start. But you know, Johnny Monell, you make a good point. He had a terrific spring training with the bat and provides a left-handed stick to maybe platoon with Recker behind the plate.
And a left-handed stick on the bench that, of course, the Mets could use.
So we'll see what they decide. Nieuwenhuis 0 for 2 and a bases loaded walk, and he foul tips that one, and that's strike 3. So 2 strikeouts for Ramos. Lagares still at second with 2 out.
A couple of those have been on good changeups, one to do to here to Kirk Nieuwenhuis.
Well, the Mets would love to plate this insurance run with a 2-out hit. Ruben Tejada coming up. He had a 3-run double back in that 7-run 4th. Because in the 9th inning, Familia is going to get the pitcher's spot, Gordon and Yelich, and if anybody gets on, Stanton. So you'd love to have a 2-run lead with that possibility. And Ruben takes a strike. Michael Kadire is out on deck. He'll pinch hit if Tejada can keep the inning going.
2 fractures in one day. Inconceivable.
I mean, the Mets have a chance to win 8 games in a row. And no matter what, the news today is horrible.
That's right. when we're talking about hand injuries to an everyday player like d'Arnaud, that's why you talk about the extended time. Left forearm fracture for Blevins, where he makes his living with that left arm.
1-1 to Tejada. By the way, just as a point of comparison, because you brought it up, Johnny Manel is off to a hot start in Vegas. He's played 6 games, 6 for 17, so he's hitting .353 with a homer and 3 RBIs. So maybe that's the way they will go.
Anthony Recker, you saw the shot there. His role will absolutely be increased.
Either way. 2-1 coming. Breaking ball hits to center field, but right at Ozuna, and that retires the side, so it'll be just the 1-run lead for Familia to handle as we go to the 9th inning. Mets trying to hang on and sweep this series. 7-6 New York after 8. This week, he'll go for number 6 as he takes on the Marlins in the 9th inning. Mets had a 7-1 lead in this game. The Marlins have scored 5 unanswered runs. The Mets have lost 2 players to fractures, but now Jeurys Familia will try and soothe it here in the 9th.
Most impressive numbers, other than the 5 for 5 on saves, is the 1 base on balls in the 6 2/3 inning. 2/3 innings of work for Familia.
Reed Brignac pinch hitting to lead off the 9th inning, and Brignac takes a fastball high for ball 1. Brignac looking for his first hit of the season, former Tampa Bay Ray. D. Gordon on deck, Christian Yelich behind him, so all left-hand hitters for Familia to face. If anybody gets on, then Giancarlo Stanton. Familia got the day off yesterday, and Alex Torres got the save. Familia came into the day tied for the National League lead in saves with Jason Grilli of the Braves. Grilli, though, picked up his 6th this afternoon in the Braves' 5-2 win over Toronto. Familia behind his opening hitter, 2-0. And now 3-0. Brignac will be taking all the way. A high strike called by the rookie home plate umpire Sean Barber. New role for Familia as the full-time closer, and he's been brilliant with it so far. But he walks Brignac to start the 9th inning. First walk of the day issued by Met Pitching, coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night at 10:30. Lots of playoff hockey and basketball, and of course all the news from here at Citi Field, including the injuries to Travis d'Arnaud and Jerry Blevins, all on Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30 right here on SNY. Well, now D. Gordon.
On the road, you say to yourself, you should play for the win, but do you play for the win with Familia with some problems fielding and throwing the baseball?
It'll be interesting to see. Campbell creeps in at third. Gordon's always a threat to bunt in any situation. He's 1 for 4 in this game, and he does square and bunts it foul.
You can see the corners pinching in, Campbell and Duda being overly aggressive. Why? They want to keep the ball out of the hands of their pitcher. They want to make that play.
Christian Yelich on deck. Giancarlo Stanton behind him. Brignac at first and nobody out. Familia still trying to settle in. And Gordon gets the bunt down. Campbell will go to first with it. Murphy to cover. 5-4 on the sacrifice. Now the tying run at second base. So it is certainly unconventional strategy to play for 1 run when you're down 1 on the road. But that's what Mike Redmond opts to do.
Well, good bunt by Gordon. Good play by Campbell. Murph was a little late getting over there, so Campbell had to hit a moving target at first base, but threw a strike.
Certainly couldn't afford to wait with Gordon going down the line.
If you can somehow get Yelich out here, you're presented with an interesting problem, aren't you?
You don't usually walk the go-ahead run.
I would.
Certainly have to consider it. Well, Yelich is 0 for 4. He struck out 3 times today. He's had a very rough series, going 2 for 17. Brignac at second and 1 out. And Familia finds the outside corner at 97 miles an hour.
Interesting, though, of all the pitches that Familia's thrown so far, not one with any sink. All high in the strike zone.
He was working on that 4-seamer in spring training, but of late has gone mostly with his power sinker. And that one in the dirt. A splitter from Familia that time. A ball and a strike.
Good job by Recker. Gets down and blocks that, not only his glove, but bottom of his chest protector.
That split has become his 3rd pitch, his changeup, if you will, that he uses against left-hand hitters. You see those ugly numbers for Yelich, but he could cure that in a hurry. 1-1 from Familia, and Yelich chops one, charging Campbell. On the run, 2 out. Brignac holds at second, and now Terry Collins has got a very interesting decision to make. You got Giancarlo Stanton striding to the plate. 2 out. Tying run at second. The book says you don't put the go-ahead run on base. We'll see if Terry chooses to go with or against the book.
He's going to pitch to him. He's going to pitch to him because of that good hard sinker down. But if you're Familia, do not give in to him. Perfect pitches or bust.
Stanton 1 for 5 against Familia. 2 out, top of the 9th. Tying run at second. And Stanton takes a slider off the plate for ball 1. Stanton 2 for 4. His last 2 at bats, a single and a double, after he had struck out in 7 of his previous 8 at bats. Martin Prado would be next. The most feared slugger in the National League against the newly minted Met closer. And a half swing at that sinker. 1-1.
That's the pitch. He's just got to stay down in the strike zone with that sinking, exploding sinker fastball. That straight ball up in the zone is the only one that can hurt him.
5 saves on this homestand, and this is the toughest one yet. Hoping to emerge with some fingernails.
Overrated.
1-1 to Stanton. And he gets ahead with a slider, 1-2.
Perfect pitch from Familia. Starts it on the outside corner, breaks it off the plate.
Now the Marlins are down to their final strike. Bouncing ball, Campbell's got it. And the ball game is over. 8 in a row for the New York Mets as they sweep 4 from the Miami Marlins. The Mets use a 7-run 4th inning and hang on for the 7-6 win. It came at the cost of 2 injured Mets, Travis d'Arnaud and Jerry Blevins. But the Mets have won 8 in a row, and for the first time in their history, they have started a season 7-0 at home.
Well, I talked about it during the game, Gary. You need all 25 players if you're going to have a special team. And today, the biggest hit in their biggest inning was by Ruben Tejada, a bases-clearing double that really put the Mets on top. But there was a lot of fight in these Marlins today. They came all the way back to within a run, but the relievers, they bent but did not break, and Familia was outstanding again to get his 6th save, 6 for 6.
Matt Harvey gets his 3rd win. Didn't pitch his best today, gave up 4 runs in 6 innings plus, but Familia able to put on the finishing touches despite a leadoff walk. And the Mets decided to pitch to Stanton with first base open, and Familia made that work as the Mets have won their 8th straight and sweep a 4-game series from the Marlins. Only the 4th time in the last 17 years, 3rd time in the last 17 years, the Mets have swept a 4-game series at home. There's your game summary presented by Ford. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $25,000. Mets are 10-3 to start the year. That equals their best 13-game start in their 54-year history. They win this one 7-6 over the Marlins. More coming up from Citi Field in just a moment.